Most people think that The Artist Way by Julia Cameron is just for painters, writers, actors, but honestly, I don't think that this book is solely about creating. I think that this book is a lot about what is underneath all the protective layers that you've created throughout your life. And it's also about how to be more kind towards yourself. And that's what I want to speak about today with you. So The Artist Way is a book structured as a 12-week program. Each week comes with exercises, mostly written, then something called morning pages, and also an artist day. When I first heard about this book, I was intrigued, but as with literally everything, I was also very skeptical. But the reason why I really wanted to read this book was because I lost my passion for creating. I wasn't really blocked in some kind of drastic way. I just stopped and I couldn't really figure out why. I was doing the whole 12-week program from June to November, but even after that, I needed some time to process everything. That's why I'm filming it now in February. And that's exactly my first point, because with some books, you read them, you set them aside and you never think about them again. But this book is definitely something different, and to be honest, that's my first comment. I think that this book can be a little bit too much. And what I mean by that is that the 12 weeks are just crazy. I would put the entire book for 12 months, each chapter for 1 month, because I was so many times so overstimulated by the amount of exercises. The exercises were mostly like very good and useful, but the time, it was kind of like pressuring me at the beginning, and then I just like let it be a little bit more. But for example, I did not create as much during the period because I was just so busy with the exercises, but maybe, that's how it's supposed to be. But I have autism and I am already trying to figure out how to lead my life without completely burning myself out. So sometimes I just felt under a lot of pressure during doing this whole 12-week program. The exercises were mostly about writing something, and since there were already morning pages where you had to also write, I'm gonna speak about those later, I decided to always take just the exercises that really resonated with me, that kind of made sense, that were attracting me for some kind of reason, and work on those. And this is actually something that is very important to mention. Not all the exercises from the book are for everyone, and some exercises will benefit someone a lot and other exercises will benefit someone else. Don't push yourself too much, At the end of the day, this is about creativity, and creativity is a lot about fun and being kind of like loose. So if you would be uptight during this whole challenge because you just feel like you want to complete everything and you would be putting the pressure, just like how I did at the beginning, then you're not gonna enjoy yourself, and maybe you would build even like a sort of resentment. So just take it easy. Also, this book is divided into multiple chapters, and some chapters were like, whoa, this is exactly what I feel. This is how I feel, this is what I'm dealing with, this is exactly describing what I'm struggling with in my life right now. And some chapters were like, okay, I guess, not for me, not my cup of tea. I would say don't expect that this book is gonna be like, wow, from beginning to finish, because it's so broad on topics. But you can expect that there are definitely gonna be chapters that will give you a lot of food for your thoughts, and you're gonna need to think about what you just read a little bit more, or it will give you some kind of push to explore yourself a little bit more. Morning pages are one of the most famous parts of this book, and it's about writing 3 pages every single morning. What will you be writing about? I have no idea, because it will be very, very individual. It's basically kind of like an exercise to brain dump everything, to be able to give space for the creative flow, creative ideas to come in. And you know what? I was skeptical there as well, because I don't like journaling. I like the questions for journaling. But when it comes to writing it down, I don't really find it necessary. I have a topic in my brain and I kind of explore it from different sort of angles, and I don't really need to write it down. Morning pages, I was not really excited about, and also I am not a morning person, like not at all. I am trying to always keep my morning as simple as possible. So morning pages, journaling in the morning, it's like, okay, let's do it. But what I realized and what it caught me off guard is that morning pages are very good at uncovering the patterns that you are ready to outgrow. The biggest realization for me was that I don't need more thinking. I think too much. I am a thinker. I need more action. I need more bold action. And, you just have a topic and you keep writing about it every single morning. And then you're like, this is boring. It's always the same. Or at least that was my experience, like I was like, yeah, I wrote about it yesterday. But by doing like billion other thinking, billion other exercises, I am not ever gonna do what I really want to do and how I want to express myself creatively. However, after finishing Artist Way, I stopped writing morning pages simply because I really like to think about things in my head. But maybe you prefer writing everything down and journaling. So maybe it's going to be very, very beneficial. And maybe it's going to help you also uncover some kind of pattern that you kept spinning around and that you need to outgrow. Artist dates are very, very interesting because they're cute. They're cute. They are for your inner child, for your inner artist, to connect with yourself, to do something nice for yourself. When I was doing the Artist Way journey, I did not do the artist dates as nice as I would have liked to because I simply did not have the space. As I said, it was a little bit too much. But I really like this idea. And what I definitely want to do more is to take my artist on a date outside more, because I am able to entertain myself inside, and those were most of my artist dates, but outside. I started doing more artist dates after finishing this book. But what it taught me is that I need to schedule more time for play for myself, because a lot of times I feel like I need to be productive, right? And then I don't manage to tick off every single task I have on my to-do list. And without that, I feel like I don't have free pass to play, to create, to do something nice for myself in a creative sphere. And after reading this book and doing a few artist dates, I was like, wait a damn minute. I actually need to play more so that I replenish my energy more. And then I have more energy to do my work, but I also do my work with more creativity, with more passion. I am in a better mood. I feel more fulfilled. I feel more like myself. So artist dates gave me a lot of very nice ideas. So artist dates shined a light for me on a way how I do my life and how I actually have to be more playful with myself and allow myself to play more and to spend more time outside doing something creative, because my home, safe space, safe to create, but outside, You will hear a lot of people speak about week 4 when it comes to Artist Way, and the reason for that is because in week 4 you are supposed to have a media fast. So no social media, no podcast, not even books. Crazy. I'm a reader, so but let me tell you, ever since I finished week 4, I am limiting social media to like a different level. Because for a whole week I needed to stay without media, and I noticed how much more space I have in my brain, how many creative ideas are coming my way. You know that moment when you are laying in bed, right? Like the whole day, nothing comes into your brain. You lay down, you want to sleep, and all of a sudden like billion ideas. So why is that? Because for the first time in your day, you actually have like nothing going on. You have no stimuli, you have no speaking, you have no constant noise going on. And that's crazy because that was exactly what I was experiencing on this media fast. And I realized how much I'm actually overwhelming my brain. Even if you consume like educational videos, when you come back from work, you cook and you listen to a podcast to be productive when you're cooking. But then you just overwhelm your brain even more. And maybe some people are more okay with it, but as I said, I'm neurodivergent. I have very limited energy, and if I'm constantly stimulating myself, then I'm not giving myself enough space to regain energy. And that's what I realized in week 4. I was like, damn, it really influences my energy level so much, my clarity, and I think it's gonna have a huge effect on you as well. Like, we all know it. We all know it that it's not good to consume too much of media, but to this extent, it was like even the books, it was like everything, podcasts, social media, books, and the combination of all of those and giving myself space to just be bored. It was like popping, new ideas, video ideas after another. I just kept writing so much down and so many creative inputs. Amazing. And there is a quote that really stick to me from this book. The perfectionist writes, paints, creates with one eye on her audience. Instead of enjoying the process, the perfectionist is constantly grading the result. And I mentioned this quote already one of the summary videos of the weeks. And another quote that I heard literally in the same week when I was reading the chapter where this quote was. How do you expect them to feel it when you don't feel it while creating it? This quote is from one of my most favorite YouTubers, Heinz. He is just a chill dude, like if you know him, you know the content he is making. It stuck with me. If I'm always creating with this result in my head, what I want to achieve, the number, the number of people that I wanted to watch and how perfect I wanted to make. I was always creating so robotically. And this is something I'm learning, to be honest. Today, I just decided to give myself a completely different kind of preparation before I start recording. It's like a self-treatment to get myself in the best possible mood, to shine in the best possible way, so that the message can be received with a completely different vibe. And it's not about me trying to be perfect for the audience or trying to reach a certain number. It's about me being in my best self, coming in front of the camera and filming with a certain vibe. So that was crazy. That was also yet another takeout from this book that I really, really appreciate. Moment when it was more about getting to know myself and how I work, which, as I said, this book is just not for creative people. This is a book about self-discovery. This is a book where you go deep, why you live your life the way you do. And as someone who does coaching for a living, and my main topic is how to find joy in life, and I'm helping people to do that. And so many times it's about getting to know yourself more. And this book is just great for it. Just great. If you, let's say, went out of a toxic relationship, you moved out from your toxic family who always made you feel like you have to dim your light, if you feel like you don't really know yourself, if you feel like you always had to do everything for others and how they wanted it to be done, but you always forgot about yourself, this book, trust me, this is one of the best books to discover yourself and who you are and how you think and what you feel and what your preferences are and how you can enjoy yourself a little bit more, how you can be more kind to yourself. So that's why I said this book is not just for artists. This book is a self-discovery. After finishing this book, I realized that I was not creating a lot because I always scheduled more time for work and not for play. I already spoke about that one. But what I was also discovering is that I'm scared. I'm not lazy to create. I'm scared. I'm scared to put myself out there. I'm scared to express myself. in a lot of ways. I'm already overcoming a lot of the fear by being here and filming, but there's still a lot that I am covering up as a creator. There's more, and I'm just like a little bit scared to uncover it, and that blocks me in a lot of cases. And it's also this thought about, oh my God, I have to create now and it has to be good now. And if it's not going to be good now, then I failed. And this mindset, I think that like for the past half a year, this was a mindset that I was really trying to modify, to start thinking about my craft, not in a sense of year, in a sense of months, but in a sense of decades. This is really something that I want to do. And if you have something, a project of passion, something that you feel like you want to do, it doesn't have to be to make money. It can be just something that you really enjoy. And it's not about like whether you are good or not, or whether you're going to be good in a year. But if you really, really, really enjoy it, even if it's like multiple things, what do you want to create in a span of your life? Because then when you think about it, it gives you much more time to perfect what you really love to do. It gives you time to explore so much more about what you enjoy. Because if you think in a sense of months, you restrict yourself so much and you feel like you will never be good enough. Because there are people who are better at creating than you. But then when you look at it in sense of decades, you can be whatever you want. You can create whatever you want. You can uncover whatever talents you have. You can learn all the skills in the world because you have time for that. So I started asking myself more, how can I make this more fun? How can I get better every single time by at least 1%? How can I make sure that I create consistently? It's my biggest problem. And how can I create more sustainably? So how can you create without burning yourself out, without losing the spark, without feeling like you're pressured to create? Because at the end of the day, creativity is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be your self-expression, the moment of you. Artist Way is not just for artists. It's for you if you feel disconnected from yourself. It's for you if you struggle with perfectionism. It's for you if you want to be a little bit more kind to yourself and get to know yourself and who you are. This book, you don't have to finish perfectly. You don't have to finish all the exercises, and it still can give you so much benefit. From my own experience, I create the best when I connect to who I am. When I get inspired by the beauty of the world, by the simple things, when I slow down and notice the details, and when I don't overwhelm myself with all the noise that is going on in the world. So how do you want to create? How can you play more? How can you get to know yourself a little bit more? This book can definitely help you in so many ways. But for people who tend to push themselves, take it easy. Take it easy. Don't have to finish everything. Not all exercises need to be done. Enjoy the process. Enjoy the book. I recommend explore yourself, explore your creativity. I hope that you enjoyed the summary of my experience with the Artist Way, and I hope to see you in the next one, and have a lovely day, and bye!